Hi Year 6, welcome to Wednesday's maths lesson. Today we're going to be carrying on looking at algebra and today we're going to be solving some algebraic formula. Before we go into the main part of our lesson, I'd just like you to have a go at the arithmetic questions as we do each day. They're the same sort of questions that you've had for the last 2 days, so hopefully you can remember how to solve these. If you pause the video now and have a go at those questions. Okay, for question 1, the trick here was we had to convert the denominators to be the same. So we wanted to make our denominators out of 12. So we had to ask ourselves, what do we times the 6 by to get the 12 on the bottom? We just times it by 2. So we've got to do the same on the top. So 3 times 2 on the top gives us 6 twelfths. So we've got 6 twelfths, take away 4 twelfths is 2 twelfths. Question 2, 30 times 80. We can do 3 times 8 and then add 2 zeros to the end of our answer, because 30 is 10 times bigger than 3 and 80 is 10 times bigger than 8. So 3 times 8 gives us 24. And then if we add our 2 zeros, our answer is 2,400. Okay, question 3, 0.3 times by 100. When we are timesing by 100, we move our digits 2 places to the left. So if I move my 3 one place, it ends up in the ones column, but if I move it 2 places, it ends up in the tens column. So our answer is 30. Question 4, again, the trickier question for this week, 41% of 630. Remember the trick here is, first of all, I need to find 1%. So I take my 630 and I need to find 1% of that. To find 1%, I need to divide 630 by 100. Because 630 is 100%, but I want to find 1%. Divide by 100, I move my digits 2 places to the right. So 6.3. 6.3 equals 1%. I'm going to write that down so it's clear in my head exactly what that is. The question doesn't ask me to find 1% though, it asks me to find 41%. So 1% is 6.3, I now need to find 41%. So now I'm going to do 6.3 times by 41. One times 3 is 3, 1 times 6 is 6. I need to remember my golden rule of a 0 placeholder in that column. Then I do 4 times 3 gives me 12. Carry my 1. And 4 times 6 is 24. Add my 1, 25. And then I'm going to add up my workings out. So 3 add 0 is 3. 6 add 2 is 8. 5 add nothing is 5, and 2 add nothing is 2. My decimal point just drops right down into my answer, so my answer is 258.3. Okay, my next question, I've got 1/3 times by 4. When I'm timesing a fraction by a whole number, T for times, T for top number, so my numerator will change, my denominator won't. So I'll put my denominator in exactly as it is at the moment, and I've just got to times my numerator by my whole number. So 1 times 4 gives me 4/3. You'd get the mark for that in a test, or you might spot that that is also 1 and 1/3. Either one is fine. Okay, and question 6, it's the opposite. So I've got 1/8 divided by 3. This time my top number, my numerator stays exactly as it is, but it's my denominator. D for divide, D for denominator. It's my denominator that will change. So on the bottom I need to do 8 times by 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So my answer is 1/24. Stretch questions, so number 1, the answer is 452,939, and question 2, the answer is 75. Okay, daily times table practice. Again, time yourself for a minute. I'd like you to pause the video now and have a go at this. All right then, year 6. Hopefully you got on okay with that. We are going to move now into the main part of our lesson. So yesterday we looked at algebra and we looked at using letters instead of numbers. Today we're going to try and work out, using some equations, we're going to try and work out what the letters stand for in each of these equations. So first of all, I've got a question. 2a equals 10. And I've got to, and the question says find the value of the letter. So I want to find out what A is. Remember, when we've got a number next to a letter like that, 2A, that means 2 lots of A. So I've got 2 lots of something equal 10. So to work that out, following my keys to success, I just need to divide my answer by the multiple. So I divide 10 by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I'm thinking A equals 5. Let's check it. 2a, so 2 lots of 5 equal 10. 2 times 5 equals 10. It's correct. Okay, moving on to question 2 then. Following my keys to success, I've got 4b equals 12. I'm going to divide my answer by my multiple. So I'm going to do 12 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I think b equals 3. Let's check my answer. 4 times 3, 4 lots of 3 is 12. Yeah, it is. Okay, question 3. Again, I'm going to take my answer, which is 15, and divide it by my multiple. So 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. So I think C equals 5. Let's check it. 3 times 5, 3 lots of 5 is 15. It is correct. Okay, so each time you're working backwards, you're taking your answer and then dividing it by the multiple. What you're doing here is you're actually doing the inverse. Remember, in maths, inverse means the opposite. Here we were saying 3c is 3 lots of, or 3 times c. You're dividing, so you're doing the inverse. Okay then, year 6. Some fluency questions for you to have a go at of your own. Follow the same keys to success as I did. Have a go at trying those 5 questions, and then I will go through the answers. Okay, hopefully you've had an opportunity to try those. We'll go through the answers then. So for question 1, A equals 10. Question 2, Z equals 6. Question 3, C equals 11. Question 4, K equals 7. And question 5, T equals 11 for question 5. Okay, moving on then to Fluency 2. Here is where it gets a little bit trickier. So before, on Fluency 1, we just had things like 2a equals. This time, we've got 2a plus something equals. We can solve these in the same way, still working backwards, starting with our answer, and then we've got to remove our addition or subtraction before solving the final part of the equation. So I'll talk you through that bit by bit. So first of all, I've got my answer 10. 2a plus 4 equals 10. My answer is 10. I've got to remove that addition by doing the inverse. So looking at my keys to success, I have to do the inverse. So here it said add 4. What I'm going to do is the inverse of that. I'm going to take away 4. So I'm going to do 10 take away 4. Okay, hopefully you know the answer to 10 take away 4 equals 6. Well, once I've done the inverse, I can get rid of that part of the equation. So then, what I know is 2a equals, doesn't equal 10 anymore, it equals 6. 2a equals 6. Well now, that question looks very similar to what I was doing in Fluency 1. So all I do here is do 6 divided by 2, which gives me the answer 3. So I think A equals 3. Let's check it now. So if I work back through my formula and check to see if that 3 fits my question. So 2 lots of 3 plus 4 equals 10. Right, 2 times 3 is 6. Add 4 gives me 10. So A must be 3. I must be correct with that. A equals 3. So I know there's quite a lot of steps to this year 6, so I'm just going to work through some more examples to show you that again. So the next question then, number 2, I've got to start off, the first step is to remove the addition or subtraction by doing the inverse. So here I've got add 8. So rather than adding 8, I've got to do the inverse. I've got to do 20 take away 8. I'm working backwards. So 20 take away 8 gives me the answer 12. Okay, so I've got rid of the 8. Then I can write out the question again. I can write it out now as 4b equals my new answer of 12. 4b equals 12. And now my question looks very much like Fluency 1, and all I have to do is do 12 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 gives me 3, so I think b equals 3. Okay, final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check it and check it works. So 4 lots of b, so 4 times 3, which is 12, add 8 gives me 20. It does, it works. So my answer for number 2 must be b equals 3. Okay, question 3, exactly the same sort of thing, following my steps to success again. So this time I've got, starting with my answer 15, I've got to do the inverse. So rather than subtracting 15, I've got to add 15. So I've got to do 15, add 15. So the first step is to do 15, add 15. Well, 15 add 15 gives me the answer 30. And then I'm going to write it out so I can get rid of that part. Then I've got 3c equals my new answer 30. 3c equals 30. Now again I'm thinking back to Fluency 1. I've got my answer 30, I just need to divide it by 3, which gives me c equals 10. Okay, and final step, I'm going to check that that answer makes sense and works in my equation. 3 lots of 10, which is 30, take away 15 equals 15. That's correct. So my answer must be c equals 10. Okay, final one that I'm going to model for you then, year 6, is number 4, before I let you have a go at the Fluency 2 questions by yourself. Okay, so here I've got, the answer is 34, it says take away 6. Remember, I've got to do the inverse, so rather than take away 36, sorry, rather than taking away 6, I'm going to add 6. So I'm going to do 34, add 6, which gives me the answer 40. Okay, then I'm going to write the question out again, 4g equals 40. Thinking back to my Fluency 1, I do my answer divided by my multiple, so 40 divided by 4, which tells me that g equals 10. Okay, let's put it back into the formula to check. I think 4 lots of g, so 4 times 10, which is 40, take away 6 equals 34. Well, it does, doesn't it? So g in this question equals 10. Okay, I'd like you to have a go then at these Fluency questions, year 6. The first 4 questions are quite straightforward, very similar to what I've just done. And then if you're feeling confident with it, you could also have a go at the stretch questions, so question 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, if you're not so confident, don't feel like you have to do those this morning. Okay, pause the video now and have a go. Okay, year 6, I'll go through the answers to those then. So for number 1, n equaled 6. Number 2, r equaled 5. Number 3, Z equaled 6. Number 4, K equaled 7. Stretch questions then. Number 5, N equaled 58. Number 6, R equaled 70. Number 7, K equaled 7. And number 8, R equaled 100. Okay, I hope you got on all right with those. Next, we're going to have a look then at problem-solving questions. So these are the kind of questions that you might get when you go on to maths.co.uk today. Okay, in these questions, there is more than one possible answer for the questions, or for a lot of the questions. So we're going to start off by looking at the question in the purple box. I've got x add y equals 15. And it says both x and y are whole numbers. So x and y could be any whole numbers, but when they added together, they equal 15. What could they be? Pause the video now and give yourself a moment just to have a think. Okay, you might come up with more than one answer. All right, what did you come up with? Okay, you could have come up with lots of different things. If I was doing this, I would think, oh, x is 1, y is 14. It could be, because 1 add 14 equals 15. You might have had x is 7, y is 8. Okay, they add up together to make 15. There's lots of different possibilities to this. It did say x and y are whole numbers, so I couldn't have had any decimal numbers. But as long as the two numbers added together to give me 15, I could have had any combination. Okay, this next question underneath is a little bit harder, but it's the same kind of idea. Okay, it says x and y are whole numbers that are less than 10. It's important that we remember that, and they put it in bold for us. They've got to be less than 10. Okay, so we've got x add 2 lots of something equals 20. Okay, so if I was doing this, I'd start off by working systematically and thinking about x might be 1. Well, if x was 1, then I know that 2 lots of y would need to equal 1 less than 20, which is 19. 2 lots of y would need to equal 19. Well, it says they're whole numbers, so I can't have 2 lots of something that equal 19. So that's not going to work. So next I would think about x being 2. If x was 2, then I've got 2 lots of y would need to equal 18, because it's 2 less than that 20. Well, 2 lots of what equal 18? Well, 2 lots of 9 equal 18. So if I put x could be 2 and y could be 9, because 2 lots of 9 is 18, 2 add 18 equals 20. That's just one possible option. That's all the question asked me to give, one possible option. But there's actually other answers to that. I could have also had x is 4. If x is 4, y would need to be 8. Because 2 lots of 8 is 16. Add my 4 would give me 20. I could have had x is 6 and y is 7. Again, 2 lots of 7 is 14. Add my 6 gives me 20. Or the final answer I could have had is x equals 8. And if x equaled 8, y would equal 6. 2 lots of y is 12. Add 8 gives me 20. I couldn't have had x being anything more than 8. I couldn't have had x is 10 because remember the question said they are whole numbers less than 10. Okay. The next question then, it asks me to find pairs of numbers which satisfy this formula. So the same kind of idea works here. So G is a number on a grey card, W is a number on a white card. We've got to join all the pairs of numbers so that they fit the rule. One has been done for us. So they say 1 and 8 work for this formula. So it says 2 lots of 1, which is 2, add 8, W is our 8, add 8 equals 10. So 2 add 8 equals 10. That works, doesn't it? Okay, and I've got to find the other pairs that work. So I would work systematically, working along the grey cards. Remember, G stands for grey card. Okay, so next I would say I'd try the number 2. So 2 lots of 2 is 4. add something equals 10. Okay, pause the video now and see if you can work out what our W is there. Okay, 2 lots of 2 is 4. Add 6 equals 10. So I can match 2 to 6. Okay, next let's think about the number 3. 2 lots of 3 is 6. Add something equals 10. Okay, hopefully you know the missing number there is 4. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video now and see what other pairs of cards you can find to fulfill this equation. Alright, let's see how you got on then, year 6. Thinking about 4 then, we could have had 2 lots of 4 is 8. Add 2 gives us 10. Okay, and that's the only other one I could have had. I couldn't have had any more. 2 lots of 5, that's already 10, so I can't add anything to it to give me the answer 10. So that's the answer to that question. That's the kind of thing you're going to come across on maths.co.uk today. My final slide here then is the kind of questions that you might get if you choose to do the stretch today. Okay, remember you don't have to do the stretch, but this is the kind of thing that you might come across if you do. Okay, so in the stretch today, we're looking for you to work out the formula. So here it says add 2 to A. So they said that that's the same as A add 2. Okay, it makes sense, doesn't it? Next, we've got subtract 2 from A. What would that match up to? Okay, hopefully you can see it would be A take away 2. Subtract 2 from A. Pause the video now and see if you can work out what the other 3 cards would match up to. Okay, multiply A by 2. That would match up to 2A. Remember, multiply means 2 lots of A. It would match up. Divide A by 2. I think this is the trickiest one on here. But if you're dividing A by 2, it has to be this one. A on the top with the 2 on the bottom. Okay, that's what that means. And the last one, multiply A by itself. Well, that would be A squared. Okay, some tricky questions there, but remember this is the stretch. Okay, next question, I'm looking at this one here with the picture of a little bag. It says there are n counters in Alfie's bag. Alfie puts 3 more counters in the bag. Write an expression for the counters in the bag. Okay, pause the video now, see if you can come up with an expression or an equation for that, and then I'll tell you the answer. Okay, we know there are n counters in Alfie's bag, so we're going to start with that. N counters in Alfie's bag, and he puts 3 more counters in. So n plus 3. Okay, that's all we needed for that question. And the next question, Megan and her boxes, have a read, pause the video and have a go at that question as well. Right then, Megan has 2 boxes. Okay, there are m counters in each box. You've got m and m. She puts all her counters together in a pile and then removes 5 of them. Write an expression for this. So what we would do is we would have 2m, because we've got 2 boxes, haven't we? 2m, and then she removes 5. 2m, take away 5. That would be our equation. Okay, once again, if I've lost you there towards the end of the video, don't panic too much. Those are just the stretch questions. Okay, so I'd like you all to have a go at problem solving on maths.co.uk today. If you're going for a stretch, that's great.